over.
Zach's right there.
What you doing, buddy? This is 12. This is 12. He's 12 years old. Okay. Okay.
Buzz off, children. We got superheroes to talk about.
We have superheroes to talk about, but we also have the Fallen to talk about first. Dearly beloved.
Last night, though.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to celebrate the memory of Neve Campbell in Scream 6.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Right? They gave great eulogies. Matthew Lillard came. David Arquette came. Who did you say? Vincent D'Onofrio?
Our very own Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, chimed in. Jamie Kennedy chimed in from the X Factor.
She'll be back.
You think so? I don't know, man.
I mean, look, Neve Campbell isn't producing
Nope.
Scream the way Tom Cruise is producing his own career. So I understand Matthew Lillard's argument because she is part of what makes the Scream franchise like the Scream franchise. But I'm having a really hard time reconciling that with the fact that, like, it's just gonna move on.
Yeah, a lot of people are split down the middle about that because, like, do we need her? I don't know. But at the same time, it's also like the principle of the matter. It's like she's the lead female in this franchise that they intended to be in this new movie, but they offered her apparently an insultingly low amount of money for more work than the last movie.
Yeah,
it's rude.
It is, frankly,
it's rude.
I get that argument. So
yeah,
either come to the table with more or don't make more movies at this point, especially since we are now going to get a lackluster shell of what they intended for us to see.
Yeah, I wonder how far in advance the production knew, because like it got delayed. The production got delayed by 3 days. So I'm like, do they have to rewrite the entire script in 3 days? Or like, I wonder what the timelines are there, or if they knew she wasn't going to be coming. It's going to be very interesting.
You're negotiating and producing material at the same time. I get it. Like, Hollywood is a fickle beast, and the show must go on. But like, if you don't have her locked down, why did you proceed? Right?
I agree. Yeah, it's the timelines. I'm very interested in what all the timelines are of this, but at least we got Courtney Cox, I guess, which, I like Courtney Cox, but it's just weird that Neve won't be there. But I also understand if she's not there. Like, it makes sense that she doesn't need to be there. It's just a lot of conflicting feelings.
Yeah. I feel like this will all get sorted.
I hope so.
Sorted.
Imagine Sydney was the killer. That would be terrible, but imagine.
Like, she's just like, she's like totally fucked up about all of this shit, and it just drives her off the edge.
She's Ghostface. Imagine. I think people would burn houses down if that was the case.
Yeah.
They would burn houses down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's fun to think about. It's
fun to fantasize about, but I think it would destroy the franchise.
Yeah, it would. Whoa, hello.
Speaking of franchises, yeah.
You want to do it? You do it.
Me? Hello, and welcome to the Full Volume Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Harvey Marie Brent, joined today by
Jolie Marie.
G.I.?
Oh, wait, G.I. Marie Jolie. Sounds like a porn name.
And it does, actually. Hello. And we didn't come at you last week because, like, we can only play so many games. And, well, I mean, we can play more games, actually. But we didn't have a game in mind that was season appropriate for the month of June. But Marvel's, it sounds weird saying that. Disney's Miss Marvel started on Wednesday. And so we got episode 1, Generation Y. So we get to talk about that today. New series, new character, much like Moon Knight. When Moon Knight happened to us, we were like, oh man, this is they're just introducing these new characters, and they don't have the advantage of being set up like Falcon did, and Wanda, and Loki, and all these previous characters. This is our second series now with a new character that has a clean slate, never been in an MCU show before. Let's spill the tea, sis. What do you think of Miss Marvel so far? First impressions.
So, first impressions. You open a show with The Weeknd, and suddenly, I'm no tangent, but like
Tangent.
it's adjacent. It's adjacent.
Hate us.
Why are we like this?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I've lost all train of thought.
The Weeknd. It opened with The Weeknd, and it made you feel.
Oh yes, that's
it made
right.
you feel some sort of way.
So in like the last 10 years, I have lost all urges to dance on a dance floor in a bar.
Yeah.
Like I don't even crave it. I used to like thrive on the cravings, and now it's just a big black empty space filled with cat drawings where that craving used to be. And suddenly the cat drawings just blew away, and the hole was filled with The Weeknd. And like I got up and I danced.
Did you?
A little bit.
She got jazzy.
Yeah. I haven't heard that song in a long time. I've pushed that shit off my playlist for a while, but it's back now.
What was the song called again?
Blinding.
Oh, Blinded by the Light. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So we have two very strong references to the GTA, or two very strong ties, I should say, to the GTA. So Kamala Khan, actress
Aman Vellani.
Oh, that's it. Sorry.
From
right.
Brampton.
Yep. And now The Weeknd, who's what, just going by Weekend now, or his Christian?
Oh, I don't. His government name.
Yeah, that's his government name.
I don't know actually what The Weeknd is going by. Is he going by Abel or is he going by The Weeknd? I think he's going by The Weeknd. Is he not? Or have I been out of the loop?
I feel like The Weeknd has dropped hints as to whether they're going to change that or not, because it's like, you know.
Oh my God! Sorry, tangent. Speaking of Canadians, did you see Justin Bieber in the news yesterday?
What did he do?
Oh my God! You have to look this up later. Half his face is paralyzed.
No, did he have a
stroke? No, he had some sort of rare virus called something Hunt's disease. No, not disease, syndrome. And like he posted like a video on Instagram, and like half his face is paralyzed, and he had to cancel like his tour.
Shoot,
or
girl.
Postpone. Sorry, just all this Canadian reference. It just.
Oh, it's all good. I think like him and Avril Lavigne both have like Lyme disease.
They do, but now he has another disease. He's doubling down on the disease.
Our girl Justin Biebs.
I know. You know what's weird too? Justin Bieber lives in cottage country, and Avril Lavigne is from where I live, around here, also kind of a cottage country. And they both have Lyme disease because there is so many ticks in this part of Ontario. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. It makes sense. I'm surprised not everybody has Lyme disease here.
Yeah. Be careful out there. When you get inside from a wooded area, just comb your body.
Strip naked.
It takes a minute. It doesn't take that long. Don't let
take a shower.
Shit get in you. Yeah, seriously, just do it. Anyway, okay.
Scary.
So, yes, now two strong ties to the GTA. From Lyme disease to Miss Marvel. My first impressions, I kind of love this show.
Okay, I was like thinking the same thing, and I was like, I wonder what G.I. Jolie is thinking, because like, again, after Moon Knight happened to us, I was like, what are they gonna throw at me next? But I think I like this show. It's very like high school. It's a high school show, but like in the lens of the MCU.
Exactly, and I feel like it needed some freshening up. You got that energy when they introduced America Chavez in Multiverse of Madness, but you only got like a taste of that energy
Mm-hmm.
literally and figuratively.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the last vestiges are of that whole like Thanos snapping everyone away and everything being so serious and world destroying is kind of falling away, and we're getting we're finally stepping into like the 10 years later world that they're sort of giving us.
And also, like, I feel like, yes, but what I picked up too, like, when she's kind of recapping, so at the beginning of this episode, Kamala kind of recaps those events that you just said, the Thanos snap and how cool Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel was punching Thanos. She almost talks about it in a way that, if she is the narrator's voice, but also the voice of the mood of the show at the moment, they talk
Mhm.
about it in a way that they feel like they've overcome the trauma of Thanos.
Mhm.
They're not talking about it in a somber, regretful tone. They're talking about it as an event that has been moved past. So in a way, though, I think that's smart because, like you said, it gives the show a fresh start. It kind of makes us a little bright-eyed and bushy-tailed again, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, and the fact that Kamala is a content creator, creating like gossip rag style YouTube videos about
The
the
Avengers,
Avengers
yeah.
is hilarious.
Imagine we started doing that, like making fake stories, fake content about the Avengers.
Yeah, as if it but I feel like we would if the Avengers
We
were
would.
just flying around outside.
We'd be
This would,
talking mad shit.
this would 100% be like, um, what's his name? Rich Lux. We'd be
Yeah.
wandering into Rich Lux territory, just cracking our fans at this at the sight of Hawkeye just jumping around New York City. We'd also live in New York City, by the way. So
We would be serious journalists. We would be a Gale Weathers type.
yeah. Well, I mean, you would be a Gale Weathers type. I
I
would
would.
more be like behind the camera.
Yeah, I'd be wearing my colorful power suits and you'd be fixing my eyeliner, I think, mostly.
Making sure that there's no stray hairs.
So the show, I think we like the vibe. I think we like the premise.
Mhm, mhm.
And then just in terms of what happens, do we want to do a quick like recap?
Yeah. Well,
Recap Yana Grande?
yeah, we will do that. Okay,
Okay.
so it starts with her little, she's making her content for YouTube, and it's clear that she's like a huge Ms. Marvel stan. Huge. Like, which is super cute. I like that there's gotta be fans in this world of all of these Avengers. Why wouldn't there be? It's crazy that there's not. And she becomes super powered, which is, you know what I mean? Like we know that she becomes Miss Marvel, so that she's a Miss Marvel stan is like the best.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, we kind of get introduced to her Pakistani family, which is very, very cool. I
Mm-hmm.
love that it is not a typical depiction of a Pakistani family, other than like exactly what you would need to take your character across. So I don't know if you read the comics, but like there's a whole scene where like her and her family are at the dinner table, but it's very like, oh, we're eating curry. Oh, we're super Pakistani Muslim. Like it was kind
Mm-hmm.
of hit you over the head with our cultural identity kind of stuff. I think that's needed in the comics because the representation in comics, in my opinion, is very low.
Mm.
But in the television show, I mean, they gave you exactly just what you needed. Like, I'm aware that she's Pakistani. I'm aware that she's Muslim. Um,
Yep.
and they kind of like check those boxes immediately. Visually, you can see that they are people of color, which is
And
not.
I was gonna say they seem to balance, like, yeah, they definitely have their culture comes through in their heritage, but they also blend it a little bit with American culture too. Just the right amount that you would expect from a family that has moved to the US. You know what I mean? Like they have a little bit of American influences, I guess, but that strong Pakistani culture definitely comes through. So I think it was like a really interesting, realistic balance of what somebody in Jersey City would probably, because like you're in a giant city, like you're going to take up some, American customs,
Yeah.
but they also their Pakistani culture is very important to them, and that comes through. It's like a really nice balance, like you said. I thought that too, actually, when I was watching it.
Yeah. I like that it's not like they're not displaying like it's like not like fresh off the boat where
Yeah.
90s like model minority Asian behavior was a huge thing. They still wear their cultural dress. Um they're still kind of like a quote tiger mom.
Yep.
And they talk about the brother in excitement for his upcoming marriage, rather than in a sort of like, oh, it's an arranged marriage kind of way. Like, arranged marriage is not terrible,
No,
to be
it's
honest.
pretty
Yeah,
common in a lot of cultures.
yeah, pretty common in a lot of cultures. And when you think about it, um, if your family in North America introduced you to somebody and you married them, it's kind of the same idea. Aside from the whole like you didn't marry them immediately after meeting them
Yeah.
or before meeting them. But I mean, it's not exactly the same, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, it was good. So yeah,
Mhm.
like you said, really nice family dynamic there. That was fun to follow. So, Kamala, she, like you said, she's a big fan of the Avengers. They set up the family well through, her failing her driving test and, all this stuff. And you kind of get a sense of how the family supports each other and how they interact. They don't actually really blame Kamala that much, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
um,
Would
but
you expect me to signal every time I need to turn?
yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Like, this is ridiculous.
But and then we get a little sprinkling of other characters. So we get, her best friend Bruno, who seems, pretty cool. And Bruno really wants to go to AvengerCon. Well, I think she actually really wants to go to AvengerCon. She tells her parents that Bruno really wants to go, but she wants to go too.
Mhm.
So we learn about her Captain Marvel cosplay, which is really cool. Um, and I think after that we get a little more into again the family dynamic where all of a sudden, and this is maybe exposition, but they get belongings from Kamala's grandmother
Mhm.
back overseas, and so her mom sees it as junk, and that's the foreshadowing, right? That's the what is this bracelet, and then throws it in the attic, and of course that's going to pique the main character's curiosity. Typical.
Yeah.
So that's our foreshadowing for this
Mhm.
episode. And then we get after, Kamala finally comes clean to her parents and says, like, look, I want to go to AvengerCon. Bruno, quote, Bruno really wants to go, blah, blah, blah. It's so Kamala and Bruno sneak out because her parents say no. Well, they do end up saying yes with some conditions, which honestly, I didn't think were that unreasonable, but like maybe I'm just 30.
Yeah. And maybe I'm just 38. Like, um, so exactly. So her parents are like, okay, she really wants to go. So we're gonna go with her. And they made her like in like a traditional, like sort of Pakistani, I don't want to call it like that sort of like a tunic shirt, but they
Yes.
made it into like they made a Hulk style. And they
Hmm.
made one for Matt that's matching for her dad, who's a lot more liberal um than mom. And
Yeah.
he was all excited about going, and then she calls them embarrassing and refuses to wear the costume, and like breaks her dad's heart.
A little bit.
Which is like, she's 16, I get it, but like if I was 16 and my dad was standing in a Hulk costume
Hmm.
wanting to go to a convention with me, like, all right, when do we go? Is this tomorrow? Is this 5 minutes from now? Let's do it. Like, I don't know. I would. It's sad that she wasn't more excited, but
Yeah, but also I don't know. She's a 16-year-old kid. She has no foresight, I guess.
yeah, and she needed to. Yeah, her parents seemed to be taking an interest, and she didn't see that, which sucks. But
But again, 16.
so they break out. They break her out of the house
Yes.
after hatching a plan that is far fetched and doesn't go as they planned, but they eventually make it. And we see that Avengers. We're skipping over a lot of stuff, but that's fine.
Mhm.
Um, we see Avengers Con is like sort of like the convention that happened in Iron Man, but like cooler.
I would say cooler, and, like, I don't know about you, and I should have written it down, but I was, like, in the background, I was trying to clock every single character I could see as a cosplay. Like, I saw Mantis,
Mhm.
Gamora, Drax, uh,
Rocket Raccoon. There was like a Nick Fury.
there was a Nick Fury.
Mm.
There was I mean, obviously tons of Captain Marvels because that was the costume contest. I feel like I saw
Oh, those little on the bus. There was those dancing girls from Captain America, and then the Iron Man dancers.
yeah, the
Was
dancers were
cute.
there, but there was an Avenger I'm missing too.
Thor.
I don't know if I saw Thor. Possibly, I don't know. But I mean, I saw Thor merchandise. I saw Asgard Pride. But there was that's gonna bug me now. And I remember to take a mental note. And I was like, oh, I'm trying to like hit every single one. And I'm only naming Guardians now. But there was an Avenger that I was like, oh, so and so. Oh, nope, that was in the cartoon at the beginning. I was gonna say Valkyrie, but no, Valkyrie was just in the cartoon at the beginning.
Let's just say, well, you think there definitely was no Black Widow.
There was no Black, but there was a shrine to Black Widow in Iron Man, which I
Mm.
appreciated that light connective tissue. Very light.
Very light, very nice. You think that there would be more cosplays, but sorry, folks.
Not in the budget. No, I'm kidding.
Uh,
It definitely is in the budget.
it's in the budget, but do you know what? I don't care. It's like that era is done. Phase one and done.
We're in our reputation era now, okay?
Mm.
Taylor.
Yep. Come on, ladies, get information.
So after going to AvengerCon and dressing up, Kamala puts on her Captain Marvel cosplay. Right? She dresses up, puts it on. She forgets the power gloves that Bruno made for her, which is so sad. But she ends up putting on her little twist of flavor, which is the gauntlet from her grandmother, the arm bracelet gauntlet. And then she goes on stage and she models her Captain Marvel realness, and then power starts shooting out, and that's which is interesting because I find most superheroes, maybe I'm wrong, but I find most superheroes realize their powers in private. I'm thinking like Toby. I'm thinking like, Rogue in the first X-Men film. Like it's very rare that a public display is how somebody first finds out about their powers. So that was a little refreshing, perhaps, or maybe I'm just my memory's bad. I don't
Oh
know.
no. Oh no, it's good. It's yeah, it's a lot.
She went deep for these references. Toby, Anna Paquin.
Even I imagine all of the little X people. All the little X people.
They all
Pyro and like Iceman, just like, discovering his frozen junk and freaking out.
Yeah, they always with the X-Men, they're always discovering their powers in private, and it's almost like through a lens of shame. Like, you know what I mean? So this is interesting.
Yeah.
But so anyways, it causes a big ruckus and powers and things are flying and Ant-Man's giant head is rolling around and Thor's hammer is swinging and hits the mean girl at school. And so Kamala is able to save her through her powers, but all this is captured on a TikTok, social media, the real enemy of
Yeah.
this series.
Yeah, so who's okay, fast forward, whatever, she gets caught, we get it. The most important part though is whatever. Okay, let's not fast forward. There's a lot of stuff in between still. So it gets caught on social media, but the most important thing is she has powers. And she decides, after a stern talking to from her mother, who's waiting for her in her bedroom, because let's be real, mothers
They know.
are not dumb.
They fucking know.
She's been in your room since 8 p.m. And she waited. She made tea and she waited.
She waited. Do you have COVID again?
No, I'm at the last bits. It's making me cough.
The
Hold on.
dribbly bibblies at the end, yeah. This is a scientific term. So, anyways, yeah, it sets up a nice, I think, familial conflict, about, a woman or a girl coming to terms with powers, but also reconciling independence from her family. I think I understand where that's going. It's a bit of a family high school drama,
Mm-hmm. And
you
she
know,
has power.
through the lens of the MCU, yes. And then we get a mid-credit scene of the Department of Damage Control. And so this was an agent from No Way Home,
Yes.
Agent Cleary,
Oh yes.
watching this TikTok of the incident at AdventureCon where Kamala's showing her powers. And so that is the end of the episode, which I think drives the plot forward. Which, you know what? I'm actually surprised there was a mid-credit scene. I was like, oh, they don't do mid-credit scenes for the MCU shows, but they did. So I don't know. I'm feeling more optimistic about this than I was Moon Knight.
Me too. It's giving me like, it's like, oh my god, it's a world where we're gonna get a Miles Morales. I want to see a Squirrel Girl. She is all music. But yes, it's like whatever the heck phase we're in now.
Phase 4?
Yeah.
We're almost done Phase 4, I feel like.
Yeah.
What's the Phase 4 capper? Let's see. MCU phases. Paging this thing.
I think it's Did it all start with WandaVision?
It started with didn't it start with Spider-Man Far From Home?
Oh.
Because it was after Endgame, and then Far From Home would have been like technically the start of Phase 4. But like no, Far From Home is like also not Marvel, it was Sony, so it was like confusing. We cap off apparently with either the Marvels, which is next July, or Fantastic Four.
Oh, which I heard just recently got pushed back again.
Oh, why can't they make a good Fantastic Four movie?
It shouldn't be this hard.
What a girl wants, what a girl needs. It's a good Fantastic Four film. That's what she needs. So, okay, we're literally smack dab halfway through Phase 4, like 50% exactly through Phase 4.
Yeah.
That's the T.
And I heard Marvel's is going to be Photon, Ms. Marvel, and Carol Danvers. So
cute.
It's going to be super cute.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And that'll be the end of Phase 4, going into clearly Secret Invasion. Because from what we know, that in the comics, potentially this secret agent he's either Kree or Skrull.
Skrull.
That's it. Yeah. And they're playing Nick Fury as Kree, like an undercover Kree. Is it Kree that are in Ms. Marvel?
I thought it was Skrulls. I didn't think Kree were here at all yet.
Oh.
No, am I mistaken? I'm not seeing it on the. I need to update my dossier.
I feel okay. In Ms. Marvel or in Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah.
In Captain Marvel, the species that she's protecting, they're not Kree.
They are.
Man, my old age.
No, they're Skrulls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, they're not Kree. Kree is like what? Oh no, sorry. On the Kree Empire's planet of Hala, there's both Kree and Skrulls. Oh yeah, that's the whole thing, right? Because they were in a war with the Kree. Wow, we're old.
Mm-hmm. But all this shit happened in the comics like over 20 years ago.
Unbelievable.
The early aughts are almost 20 years ago.
Do you have any closing comments for Ms. Marvel?
I love the entire look. Mm-hmm. I've been watching interviews with the directors because they did like mad press junkets. And I love their energy. And I love the energy that they're bringing into the MCU. I love what this show is potentially going to bring into the MCU. I have some friends who say they don't really have faith in this show, but I feel like that's because they're in their late 40s. Potentially, I don't know, maybe they just don't click. I mean, no, that's wrong because like I'm old as fuck too, and I love this shit. Like I see it as a very, very fresh take and a fresh direction and a livelier, more colorful direction.
Is it a fresh take that maybe a couple people in their 40s are too fatigued to keep going with? Maybe they're like, I'm just they have Cape fatigue, but like, and this is a fresh take, but is it like one show too late? Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe maybe that's what it is for sure. Like, um, I'm just surprised at how it's only been like a year since we've seen less than a year really, but the difference between this show and like Captain America and the boring Winter Soldier.
Oh, forgot about that. Why did you remind me?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's nightmare stuff of nightmares.
That made those 6 episodes work on this podcast. We should claim with the government because that was work. That was not fun.
No.
We've had fun since, but man, Captain America or Falcon and the Winter Soldier was not my jam.
No.
Not my jam, not my jelly, not my marmalade.
It wasn't even peanut butter.
It was not even my peanut butter.
No. Sorry. Like, and it's crazy how far it's not even been that long. And like just looking at the two of those back to back, if you put them side by side, it's like they're not even from the same world.
Yeah, it seems very, yeah, that's a big change for a year.
Even dare I say, less than a month ago, when Doctor Strange reappeared under the Sam Raimi flag.
I finally saw it, by the way.
Did you not love it?
I love it because I love horror.
Yeah, me too.
I love horror. So that was very, and I love Sam Raimi. Oh my god, I love Evil Dead. There were so many Evil Dead references in there. My seat was wet after. Like, I was so excited.
You didn't bring a change of panties?
To not to the Cineplex Odeon.
No.
Shut up.
They're still understaffed, which means their bathrooms are still a mess. I mean, had I no shame, I would have changed my panties right in that theater, but
there was people in it, but I would have.
But no. Yeah. Even the differences like between that, I feel like Multiverse of Madness straddled the new Marvel and the old Marvel.
They did.
Yeah. I'm glad that they brought in Sam Raimi.
And they're really trying to give us different genre films / TV shows. And like, I was thinking that while I was watching this, because this is very, I don't want to say Degrassi because that's insulting, but a show of that nature. And then Multiverse is horror. Hawkeye was a holiday series. I don't know what the fuck Moon Knight was, but I mean, we talked. It was kind of Indiana Jones-esque, but not really. But they're trying to give us different things, and I think that's helpful, especially these last few. Like, I think some people said that like Falcon and the Winter Soldier was like a 70s caper. Is that the term?
Yes.
Kinda, but it didn't sit with me. Maybe that's just not me. I don't know. Maybe there's people out there that like Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That's not us, though.
No. Well, I mean,
here's the thing. We like Sebastian Stan.
And Anthony Mackie. Yeah.
And Daniel Bruhl.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Daniel Bruhl girl.
You are.
But that show was garbage.
Okay, like relative garbage. There's definitely like worse shows in the world.
Yes.
I'm just talking MCU. It was like, you know.
You're right. Sorry, relative garbage. We don't want to get canceled immediately.
No, and, you know, it's that and Moon Knight were not for me. But I'm loving this. I'm liking this a lot. Yes. I'm strong liking this, not loving. Loving's a sensitive term.
Yeah, just the art direction is completely what I'm here for. It's just, it's a Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, where can the children find us, Jolie?
Oh, they can all head to wherever they like their favorite podcasts in their ears. So that's like places like Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, Amazon Music. We're there too. However, we don't dwell well with the devil, but we there.
iHeartRadio.
That's it.
Yeah, one.
Apple iTunes.
Yeah.
Apple Podcasts. We're there. Give us a rating. If you listen, you can rate in Spotify now. So if you at least have listened to us once, you can give us that big old 5 stars, because everybody knows that you love to listen to us jaw on endlessly about nonsense.
I think it's comforting to hide in.
It really is. We're just saying aloud everything you're thinking.
Yeah. The perfect ADHD podcast.
I wouldn't say perfect. But yeah, okay. That's where you can find us. You can also find the video version of this podcast, if you dare to see our faces, on YouTube on the Comic Book Syndicate channel. It's the Comic Book Syndicate Network. It's like at Comic Book Syndicate on most socials. I think that, pretty much, if you search us, you'll find this podcast and every other podcast that we've been producing up until this point.
Amazing. Gorgeous.
Sorry we didn't bring you any Drag Race content.
Oh my god. Next time we will.
Yes.
It's a sickening season. We'll talk about it. Don't worry.
Ooh, yeah,
Don't
all
worry,
terms
girls
is
and gays.
giving us flavors. Okay, so until next time, keep it together, keep it loud.
Keep it at full volume.